So what we're going to do in the learn how to move section, and this applies quite a lot through the ballroom, is we're going to do literally lowering the heels. But obviously first of all you've got to raise the heels. And what tends to happen in ballroom is that when you learn the footwork, you tend not to apply it as it should be applied. It's all very well taking a step forward on the heel, but if you've come from the position, for instance in the waltz, where the feet are closed, and you're up here, and you take the step forward on the heel, that's what will happen. So the first thing we need to learn is from the closed foot position in the waltz, you must really lower before you take the step, so that the lowering comes there. And you'll find that the lowering will power the step forward. So if you're here in the waltz, or any of the boat, not any of them, waltz, foxtrot, quick step, that lowering must happen to be able to go into the next part of the movement, whatever step that you're going to do. And again, I know I'll go on about it, but the weight transference is very important there, because in the ballroom it needs to be smooth. So we've got practice, steady on, lift up and down, lift up and down. Now learn that one movement and do that quite a few times, so you can feel the heels coming and touching the floor. Again, if you get your waltz, if you're in the waltz or whichever stance it may be, and you don't do that heel lowering, you will get that falling forward. So you've got to make sure the heel actually touches the floor, and as it touches the floor, it powers that leg forward into the next step. So for instance, if we're doing the waltz, we've closed and we're into the heel, and again, if you've done some of the early part of learn how to move, you'll also be going into your little bit of CBM depending on what step you're doing next. This applies right through. If you're doing your chassé in the quick step, you're there and you take the next step without lowering the heel, you'll just fall forward. So you're coming out of your chassé in the quick step there, you're on the toe, again to power into the next step, the heel goes down and it powers you into the next step. So it's most important that you learn this, lower the heel before the step, not as you're doing the step, because it won't happen, the heel won't go down, so you'll never get any power into your next movement. The power comes from that heel touching the floor, so you're in that position to push the next step forward and take it into the next rise. This is rise and fall. Rise and fall is so important in ballroom, it's everything. If you don't get your rise and fall, you'll be doing your waltz like that. Whereas the difference being, with your rise and fall, there's your lovely rise there, and it pushes down into that next step. Again, weight transference is important. Control it as it goes from the back to the front. Don't just let it go. Again, same principle. If you clunk down too much on your heel, then you'll get that action. So the two, they've got to happen together. You're there, it comes down and lowers, and actually as you lower, the foot goes forward, so you get that lovely smooth action coming forward. Again, waltz, foxtrot, quickstep, whichever one it is, you want that movement, so you're going through the step. If you don't move through the step, it'll look very, very bloody. So what we're going to practice is just literally lowering. Rise, fall, rise, fall, rise and fall, rise, fall, step. Again, rise, fall, step. Feel that power coming through the middle of the body, that's where it happens. And that again has got to be even. Forward, backwards, whichever way. It doesn't work, it's got to move all in one piece. So you get that lovely smooth transference of weight. Practice makes perfect, and you'll be a lovely waltzer.